Hi, good morning, Montse. Happy Monday.
Happy Mondays. I've been so happy to be with you, as usual.
It is so good to see you again. It's interesting. We used to see each other a lot more when we were in the same industry, and so things have shifted a bit for you, which is very exciting. I'm so pleased. Thank you again for your contribution to the book and the beautiful stories that you shared. It's close, so it'll be off to printing soon and then available for others to read. And as part of the series of the book, I wanted to ask the ladies that I interviewed 3 questions. And I'm really happy to do that with you this morning. But I obviously have known you for years. But for those who are listening who don't know Montse, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So Montse is a medical doctor by background. I was like a little kid, wanted to study medicine, to go to Africa and, treat all those kids who were dying from disease that we had medications here in Europe. That was my dream when I was a little kid. But the life drives you through different paths, but I did study medicine. I had huge impact because I started to go into the business of clinical trials. So I've seen many medications going into the market, some of them in rare disease, some of them in pediatrics. So yeah, 31 years in clinical research, being in CROs, which are clinical research organizations. Those are companies who support pharma when it comes to doing research and development, and had really fun doing it.
And your career, Montse, has been incredible. First of all, studying medicine, and then you moved into different directions. And I can imagine you've been in the situation often where you've had to make a big decision. And instead of playing it safe, you ask yourself, what if I don't do this? What if I don't take this step? Or what if I don't move in this direction? What impact will that have on my career and my life? And I'm hoping this morning you could share one of those experiences.
Definitely. When you really start your career path, nowadays I think that you are getting prepared. Both women and men are more into those business courses. I mean, they are more into mentoring, even to coaching, which I think are amazing tools. But if we look back, 30 years ago, I mean, those things didn't exist. So you just learn by doing it.
Yeah.
And if we start talking a little bit like how was being a woman in a wall of men's, I mean, that was even more difficult. I mean, you had to step up. You had to show, to be secure all the time. And you were not, in fact. No, each time that you were promoted, that you were asked, or you asked, in fact, that you wanted to try, that you thought that you could take a little bit, more. I mean, you had a little bit that panic moment of, I'm doing right. Right now I have everything under control. I know the team, I know the market, I know the customers. Now moving into another step. But this is what I've been doing almost every 3-4 years. And I think that probably the CEOs that I've been working with, they knew it because they were the ones each time that I was a little bit in my comfort zone, offering me another challenge, another vision, another type of business. And that has been magnific, no? But of course, it came with a little bit like this panic, will I be the right one? Will I lose what I have been working so hard to get? And that uncertainty, And I think that right now, these young business people is much better prepared for that. And I really hope also that your book, what we are doing right now, especially focus on more women supporting each other, will help them because those are very difficult moments in your life.
Yeah, definitely. And I think from what I know from you, Montse, as well, is that you're someone that doesn't shy away from risk or taking big decisions. But when you make those decisions and you take those steps, you also have sometimes this nervousness. Is this the right step? And how do you overcome that? How do you move and make those decisions still with that questioning?
So that's an exercise. That's an exercise that you have to do yourself. I mean, on your own. No, you need to be more or less deciding it by yourself. But I think that it's super important that you are surrounded with people that know very well you, have seen you in different roles or in different scenarios, your family, your friends. So all that network that you are building around you that have been supporting, have been your fans and have been seeing you growing, those are the ones who challenge you sometimes saying, hey, maybe that's like a too big dream, or maybe you are doing things wrong right now, or maybe you are putting so much on risk, or not. They are cheering you up and they are telling you, you just go. I mean, come on, if you have done this and you have that. So they confirm what you all have ready. But I think that internal discussion is important, that you have it with yourself first, of making sure that, it's a right moment, it's a right opportunity. And then, of course, you need to talk with the rest and see what they think about it. That's at least how I have been done it, and it have worked very nicely. I'm still doing it right now.
Yeah, you're definitely still doing it right now because, well, maybe that's a really good example. Tell us about, you've made a big switch recently, and how did you decide to do that?
Yeah, that's a big, big switch. So, when you are like 55 years old, you have a name in the industry. I mean, people know you. You are asked to be involved in some books, in podcasts, in lectures. And then suddenly you decide to go into a completely new market where people doesn't know you, where you don't have the network and the contacts. This is something which some people that loves me has been challenging me. Is the right time? Is the right thing that you are doing? But again, that exercise of why do I want it to do, no? And let me explain you a little bit what I did that, no? So the reason, being a medical doctor within the family, you are always done to call in when there are emergencies, when things are happening, no? So it happened to my father. He was healthy. He had full autonomy. Went into some hospitalizations, nothing severe, but he came out from the hospital not being able to walk. And he didn't have any neurology thing. It was just a matter that he had been too long in a hospital and in bed, no? So I took the leadership of, you are going to walk again. Of course you will do. You don't have any neurology issues. You just need to, try. I went into webpage. I went into solutions for elderly people, no? And I discovered a full landscape called older adult services, silver economy, longevity. I started to read about it, be interested for solutions for my parents, but even, thinking about myself, how I want to go when I will get older and how do I want to live. And I started to get very passionate about it. So right now, 50% of my time is devoted still at clinical research, which is, an area which I never want to leave from because I have a lot of passion on it. There is a lot of new things happening and I want to keep a foot there, but more and more because probably right now it's almost, 60% of my time devoted to, support companies who have technology or services within older adults. All that sector, it's called more silver economy. It's not all about medicine. There is a lot of, technology. There is a lot of finance, how we are going to finance it. There is a lot of holidays and social and bringing communities. So it's a huge space where I'm digging it. And this is completely new for me. I am not in my comfort zone anymore. As I said to you, people doesn't know me. I have difficulties on getting the network that I want to build. But again, it's a fantastic challenge, no? To be new in a new space where people doesn't know you. But at the end of the day, you are bringing all your experience of growing companies, of leading teams, on opening markets that you have, already contacts. And what I'm realizing, Sabine, is that people that has worked with you that are very thankful how you have supported them, they really want to help you. I'm receiving constantly through Instagram, through emails, newspapers, news about silver economy from my network on clinical research because they read about it, they are interested about it, and they send it to me and they want to help me. And that's very satisfactory. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That is fantastic because that network doesn't go away just because you switch industries. So that's incredible. And how you built it, because that's what you talk about in the book, that's the story that you shared, that is something that you can use regardless of the industry that you're in. Nice.
That's
Congratulations.
Thank you, Sabine. But no, as we talked during the book, I mean, I think that the network has been critical on my career path. Definitely. Of course, I mean, there are many factors there, but the network probably it's one of the most important for me. It's something which I devoted time every single week, and I do it, with all the intention, and it's something which is extremely rewarding. Also, of course, you have interest on keeping that network, but it's really rewarding how to do it, especially how to select the network that you really want to keep along your career path. No, but it's something which, especially at the age when you are just growing in your executive career. Normally, also you are having, it's not about men or women. I mean, it's about when you decide to find family, if you decide, or other interests, and you need to balance that, no? There is always like this lack of time to invest in network. No? And this is something which, all the women that I have been mentoring is something that I recommend them. Always find time
Yeah.
once a month, once a quarter. Don't think about every week, because there are special moments in your life that you don't have time or energy, to do all that. But at least, put on that to your agenda as important as reading articles or, doing your business plans or whatever. Invest time, do it, no? And
Yes.
again, we think
It's
that
so
network, we
important.
may take so much time. And if you are organized, it doesn't. When you go to the events, I think I mentioned that also you on the book.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Yeah.
stay for the 2 hours that the event, you go to that
Yep.
event and there are two critical persons that you really want to meet, that you want to say hello, that you want to remind them that you have met in the past. Just do it. Go there. You can be 45 minutes, 1 hour in that event, and then you have to leave, because sometimes and in periods of your life, you don't have time for everything, and you need to select, and you need to be more laser and focused, no? But don't leave a network at the end of your agenda, because that's a terrible thing, I think, to do.
Yeah, that's true. And then that leads us into the next question. And so you have a vast network, and there are people that have impacted you and your career. And if you had to pick a person to say, thank you, you've had a significant impact on me, do you have someone in mind? And what would you say to them?
Maybe right now, probably my mother should be the one to say gracias and thank you, especially in the moment right now where, I'm getting into older adults. I'm learning a lot from her, and she has been the one always pushing me, no? Unfortunately, I'm from Spain. I didn't mention that. I'm based in Barcelona. My mother and the mother of many of us could not work. They would have loved to, but some of them could not even study as much as they wanted. So, when you got married, that was the mission, when you were a woman, and then you had to have kids and be at home. Even though she tried to get some jobs, because, my family needed that money. So she was economically supporting but it was always like something add on, no? It was my
Yeah.
father who had the job, who had the profession, who was enjoying it, no? And bringing the money home. So she has always been pushing me a lot on, be independent. Make your career path. Don't depend only on your husband. Don't devote all your time to the kids, which are important, but not like that. So probably that big gracias and thank you should go to her. But no, to many of the teams that I have been interacting nowadays, I'm seeing, and I guess it's the same for you, Sabine, we have been in our career path having many women's in our teams. And right now, when you are seeing them really promoting, getting that C-level, having such an amazing, jobs and positions, and really enjoying it. Those are the ones also which I have been testing many things. And now you see how they have promoted. Thank you to them and to many women like you on my network, that have been supporting me always and cheering up when I have been promoting or I have been growing. And also the ones that have been there when you have tough moments, because it's not all
Yeah.
about
So
cheering and
true.
celebrating. There are really tough moments where you are really down, that you didn't get what you expected, or companies change so much, and those down moments also you find someone that is helping you, is giving you the right advice, and are there, no? So
Yeah.
probably, to all my networks,
Yeah.
including you,
Ah,
of course.
nice. Thank you, Montse. That is so kind. That's beautiful, because you're right. We all have to help and support each other. And I think that that's such a key piece to remember and to thank the people for doing that.
Definitely.
And your legacy, Montse, if you think about your own, what is something that you really want to be remembered by and that you live now, or that people remember you by also today?
Well, I think that when you ask people, what's Montse? Montse is a very generous person. That's what they say about me. I like to share a lot. I think that probably they will remember me for being one of the best connectors. I've been building ecosystems. Everywhere I go, I'm able to connect, to make people that doesn't like each other so much to work together, to have a safe environment, to have an environment where we can talk, we can discuss, we can have good and bad moments. So probably that community builder skill, it's what people will remember me a lot, no? Sharing my network with other networks and building that community. Because now that, I'm getting older, I'm seeing older adults. One of the first things everyone is talking about, how important is diet, how important is doing exercise. But at the end of the day, at the same level, it's the community. It's how you are socializing. I mean, that's one of the big factors. And I hope there will be more and more research on that, which is critical and so important. So
It is
right
so
now,
true.
I did it naturally in the past because it helped me. I mean, for me, it was like a good way and a safe way to be, creating those ecosystems, those community within biotechs, within clients, within competitors. I always have talked with competitors, have super friends. In fact, we were competitors when we met.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
at the
true.
congresses, and we just love each other, and we admire when we were doing things and we were on a stage and we were having challenges. So I think that creating that community is super important, and probably that will be my legacy, community builder and keeping them strong together, and being there even for me. I mean, I will use that community. It's not just sharing, it's what I will get also from them, no? And especially when we get older, unfortunately, we are losing friends, we are losing partners, we are losing, of course, our parents, which is a natural thing. So that community needs to get bigger and bigger, no? And
Yeah,
also
it's
community
so
which is
true.
not only about women and elders, I love to have also young people in that community. Right now I'm working at the Barcelona Health Hub. They always tell me that, I look like the ambassador because I've been there for quite a long time, but I like those young entrepreneurs who are starting up with a technology. They are big dreamers and, helping each other and have that intergenerational, contact and community. I think it's also super important, Sabine.
Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful legacy. You're right, the community piece. And we thrive from it and it keeps us going because we're not in this life just by ourselves. Well, we can be in this life by ourselves, but it doesn't make a fulfilling one. And so building that community, and you're right, the diversity and the richness of it is so important. Montse, so true. And that's so true. It's your red thread, isn't it? It's the network, it's the community, it's keeping in contact with people. And that's a beautiful legacy to have and to share.
In fact, that's what you are building also, Sabine. I think that what you are doing right now, it's exactly that, And of course, putting even more, in your book, I mean, you will have there probably some advice, some people that have done it before. I mean, I think that when we started, I mean, we didn't have that. I
We didn't
remember
have that,
probably
did
the
we?
first book that inspired me, it was Cheryl, the COO of Facebook, the Lean In book. Do you
Lean
remember
in,
that
right.
book
That
that
was the
was in
first
the
one.
US?
That was really one of the first ones. Yeah,
One
you're
of the
right.
first one that was really a woman and putting things very transparent, very, this is how it is for women, being up there at sea level. And she got the sea level at Facebook at the time, when technology was and everything was about men and techie guys, no? So,
True.
I mean, that's probably one of the few and the first one we got. Look now, I mean, there is a lot,
A lot more available.
yeah, it's a lot of even like business courses focuses on women, how we need to, and I think it's extraordinary, it's fantastic, it's
Yeah, I
really
think
good
so
because we
too.
want that equality, that diversity that we
Yeah,
didn't had at the time when we were there. It was too lonely, and that's not good when you feel that you are the only one in the
true.
table and in the room. That's not good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your stories because I believe that that's what helps us. And that's part of the community that's just so important because we can relate to these stories and what other women have gone through and dealt with. And in this book, obviously, it's focused on women, but it's also men. You're right. It's a diverse group, but to hear those stories can be very like, oh, wow. Okay, she did it. I can do it too.
Or I
Yeah.
can connect with her and she can help me.
Help me.
I think that
True.
we have tools like LinkedIn and many others right now, which you can connect people that you would have never dreamed to be connected with or be able to
True.
talk. And really, I mean, people really want to help you. I think that's
They do.
yeah. I think we think people want to be egoistic, want to promote on themselves. They compete a lot. I mean, that will exist, of course. But on the other hand, you find a lot of people that want to share, want to,
Yeah.
just support you.
And
Definitely.
just ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask.
Exactly.
Oh, Montse, thank you so much for starting your week with me. As always, it's fun. And thank you for introducing me also to this, to the community because I wasn't aware of that. So very interesting and
Definitely.
yeah, a good place to be in.
Best start of Monday, I can tell
All
you. Thank you
right.
so much for having me and good luck
Thanks,
with all the
Montse.
podcasts. I love
Thank
podcasts
you.
and listening to them. We are reading a little bit less and less, unfortunately, right now, but
Yeah,
listening to podcasts is something which I'm doing a
it's
lot right
really
now and
nice.
learning so much. So, yeah, thank you for
Well,
that.
soon everyone can hear your story too. So thanks,
Thank you
Montse.
so much, Sabine. Have a good week.
You too. Bye.
Bye.